And Fred is our fearless leader.
Yay, Fred.
Hey, Fred.
And at Goddard, and she was a dancer and studying several semesters of dance. And so it's called Dancing Mirage. You are a frenzied river, meditating between sky and ground, footprints glowing in the dark, dancing with a haunted look, concentrated bleeding with leaps, skin, long arms, longer fingers, toes, torso, and head. Inches of your skin crawl like a parade up and down your bones. Your lungs are on another planet, where the air is pure and gentle. Suspended turns, splendid twists, toes balance on the fault line. Dynamite body festival explodes sensual fires. The body language river runs its course into deep devotion. The sweat and grease of the earth you have danced on is now flying.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I think you like her.
Yeah. Could you,
Beautiful. What was the last word, please? Flying?
The grease, the sweat and the grease of the earth you have danced on is now flying.
Nice.
who's the author again? And how do you know them?
Oh, I'm the author.
Oh, Fred.
I wrote it about a dancer who I met in college and became a good friend of mine.
That is a gorgeous poem.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. I hear some feedback, so I'm going to mute everybody except for the speaker. Okay. So go ahead, Fred.
Okay, Jean, do you want to start? In my order, I have Jean, Louise, then Chuck, then Abby, and Carol. So Jean, you're up.
Okay, and then Fran Linus is also here.
Okay.
All right, well, I'm going to read something that I wrote when I was 23. So it was more than 40 years ago. It's not a really sophisticated poem, but I thought it was interesting. I found it the other day in a file. I had been studying biology, and there's something called complementary genes in the DNA. And since that's my name, I called it complementary genes with a Jeans. Why am I afraid of me? Is it that I fear I'll see a me no one would like to know and find the other me's just show, not really me? But be the one the mirror shows to me, the one that dances, winks her eye, and stands up tall, her head held high. Who is she? She seems so joyous, wild and free. She snaps her fingers, taps her feet, and hums to music only she hears. She probably never has time for tears. Has she? Perhaps she does. It isn't fair to think that anyone could bear the pressures all around without a few bad moods, a touch of doubt. Is it? Perhaps she wonders, who is me? Gets lonely, longs for company, sometimes impatient, procrastinates, and has for work a true distaste. Perhaps. Just maybe she's not as strong as she appears, not so independent, has a few fears. Perhaps being alone makes even her troubled. Maybe she's actually a little vulnerable. Maybe. Perhaps that mirror gal is really me. Not imperfect, not perfect, and not meant to be. She has weaknesses, faults, and fears, and even stops smiling occasionally for tears. Even she. She's not made of two separate personalities, one weak and nervous and sad and displeased, while the other bubbles and is sunshine and love. That inseparable pair is what she's made of. Complementary genes. The one half moody and oftentimes down, her face like a mask, her mouth in a frown, while the complement is loving and warm and kindly. She seeks her goal calmly and carefully, not blindly. What governs which half shall be me? The truth is, someone has the strange power to beckon the one half or turn to the other. And only that person controls which half will make her appearance, make Jean cry or laugh. Who is that? It's me, JD, because of course my name was Dubinsky at the time.
Ah,
Oh, that's
I
neat.
like that.
Yeah, I still wrestle with that.
I like it too. Well, we're all, so many different parts and shadow. We have a shadow side we can't see.
Right. Does somebody have construction going on near their house? Is it you, Louise? Oh, okay. All right, who's next?
Louise, you're up.
Well, if you can handle this loud noise, is this handleable? Ah. All right, well, I have a poem here, but I have a Langston Hughes book, The South. The lazy laughing South with blood on its mouth. The sunny-faced South, beast strong, idiot brained. The child-minded South, scratching in the dead fire's ashes for a Negro's bones. Cotton and the moon, warmth, earth, warmth. The sky, the sun, the stars, the magnolia-scented South. Beautiful like a woman, seductive as a dark-eyed whore, passionate, cruel, honey-lipped, syphilitic, that is the South. And I, who am black, would love her, but she spits in my face. And I, who am black, would give her many rare gifts, but she turns her back upon me. So now I seek the North, the cold-faced North, for she, they say, is a kinder mistress, and in her house my children may escape the spell of the South.
Oh,
Yeah, he's great.
yeah, Langston Hughes always seems to nail it.
That was Langston Hughes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I only came in at the end, but nailed it is right.
Ah. Abby, did you have something you wanted to read?
Abby, you're muted.
Not this time. I was trying to figure out how I can participate, and I have some ideas about memorizing poems for next time.
Okay. Carol, what did you bring to the table?
Well, I brought something. I'm going to put my face on and I hope it keeps going. This is called, I'm not sure if it's a poem or not, but I don't know what it is. It's called Mother's Day. Moby is bald, makes electronic music, and that was all I knew until we ventured forth, she and I, to check out his place. Imagine giving up her car so good old mom has to drive them hither and yon to places having, in this case, bottles of various sizes and shapes filled with colored water, then strung high and low and formed into shapes. A few Virgin Marys were there amidst flowers and patterns. That gave off shine in spite of cloud cover. Up and down en route to Moby, who, glory be, ended up being our waiter. Yes, he has a restaurant in Silver Lake. She says, it's so small. Me, I like small and quiet and tasty. Autographs are for ninnies, or at least not for today. Do you like to be amazed? I do. Got an email from her boyfriend asking when I wanted to have dinner, his holiday gift to me. Sent back suggestions and received another mail saying he was busy for the next few weeks. What? Whose idea was it anyway? I'm amazed. It's fun to be confounded and amazed, mostly. It was the many chandeliers hanging from the tree near where I parked that added to the mix. We then happened onto Neutra Place, and there they were, a group of his houses, all white and clean and neat and loaded with windows. I knew there was an architectural reason I wanted to get to Silver Lake. What a day. Ask yourself, what sets your imagination afire? All I need is a song with a beat and a house with a strong attitude, and such as that to make the difference between ho-hum and so fine. Colors do it too. Give me orange anytime, which reminds me that the other day I ate a nasturtium. Love that peppery bit. That's it. Wasn't it loud enough? What was the matter?
It
Can I
was
say
Good.
something?
I heard it. I liked it.
Can I say something?
You didn't have
Yeah.
to like it. You just have to hear it.
No, I
What?
love it. And I'm married to an architect. And
Oh, you're kidding.
oh yeah, and we go out, we drive all over and go on, and we're redoing our kitchen, and we had an argument. I want to put a splash of orange in it. And anyway, I feel like the poem was directed at me, so thank you.
You're right.
Ah,
You know Nitra though, right?
Yeah, of course.
Wonderful, wonderful. Anyway, it was a great day, but it's strange. You never know what's going to happen in your life.
yes, yes. Fran, you're up. Did you bring something to read?
No, I was talking to Chuck. I did not bring anything. I'm just listening.
Okay, Fran, did you bring anything?
Fran, hey, Fran.
Claudia, did you bring a book to read from?
We can't hear you, Claudia or Fran.
No, I was kind of getting there, but no, if you guys don't let me mind if I peek in.
No, we just want people to come and listen. They don't have to read. That's the whole idea.
I'm good.
Okay. So we didn't hear from Fran. Well, I guess we'll start at the beginning then. That'll be me. This is a poem I wrote in 1980. It was, I think, my third semester in Goddard. I was in an adult degree program where you go for 2 weeks to the college and then you go home and do your study. And at that time, you had to mail your work to your advisor or teacher or professor. So this is a poem I wrote during that time. It's called A Place, an Edge, a Mountain. You asked me if it bothers or troubles me when we fool around, when we dance in each other's eyes, when we travel down each other's backs with fingers that swallow. I can't even say a word. I smile, shake my head. No, finally the word no in a whisper. I rub my face until it is crackling in and around your straight blonde hair. You are the woman who has fished me out of dead seas and melts away my distress signals. There have been a number of women who have helped me stand straight as a new shiny sword and have sharpened my blade. But it is you who has cut through the thick air of insecurity. You continue to remain at the outer fringes of lust and caring, a paradise where healing is done with holy fire and the stirring of the soul. We get tangled up in what the world demands, things should be, or the way we sense they should be. We cling together and dream journeys, flirting with each other's spears. The taste of ginger lies on our tongues. We orbit the earth, hypnotized birds, drawn closer and closer. We are unsteady at first, testing our wings around flight. The sky races to keep up with us. high tensions, and we brush up against each other with little noises leaping in slow motion out of our throats. The warm is at the base of your neck, and you find yourself nestling comfortably between my hair and the back of my ear. We are mountain climbers who never seem to run out of mountains to climb.
Oh,
That's great, Fred.
wow.
Thank you for that. That was so personal and so,
I
so
like it.
beautiful.
It's really
Yeah.
sweet. That's my reaction.
Very sweet.
Okay, Jean.
Okay, let's see. This one is called A Bird Came Down the Walk. It's by Emily Dickinson. I'm consumed with loving birds right now because I put up a double-sided shepherd's hook that's about 8 feet tall in my garden. And it's right out the front door, so I can sit and work on my computer, and I see birds all day long
Oh,
coming to feed at the feeders hanging. So I'm drunk on these birds. Okay, this is A Bird Came Down the Walk. A bird came down the walk. He did not know I saw. He bit an angleworm in halves and ate the fellow raw. And then he drank a dew from a convenient grass, and then hopped sidewise to the wall and let a beetle pass. He glanced with rapid eyes that hurried all abroad. They looked like frightened beads, I thought. He stirred his velvet head. Like one in danger, cautious, I offered him a crumb, and he unrolled his feathers and rowed him softer home. Then oars divide the ocean, 2 silver for a seam, or butterflies, off banks of noon, leap, splashless as they swim. I don't really understand the end of it, but I love the part about the beetle, letting the beetle pass and the angleworm biting it in half. Does anybody understand that? I'm just going to read the last 2 stanzas again.
yeah, go ahead.
So it says, he glanced with rapid eyes that hurried all abroad. They looked like frightened beads, I thought. He stirred his velvet head like one in danger, cautious. I offered him a crumb, and he unrolled his feathers and rowed him softer home. I think that means he flew away. And
Yeah.
rowed him softer home than oars divide the ocean. Oh, that's pretty. Now I get it. So
Yeah.
it's a metaphor for the oars dividing the ocean, like his wings dividing the air. 2 silver for a seam, or butterflies off banks of noon leap, splashless as they swim. I guess again he's using the metaphor of butterflies swimming as they wing away. Oh well. Anyway, that's
You
it.
read it very well. You read that poem beautifully, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Nice, Jean.
We have set
No,
up.
I love to listen to people read poetry when they explain it.
I like the explanations too.
We have set up, Jean, these bird feeders in our backyard,
Uh-huh.
and it's fascinating. We've been getting the full diversity of birds, so you start to see the pecking order,
Yes.
and we've gone from the crows down to these blue jays, down to the finches, down to the sparrows, and then the mourning doves, and then we get these hawks that come in, and we've even had an owl, and then butterflies. And I feel like, in a way, you captured it, because with all the diversity, none of them get out of hand. And when you talked about the beady eyes, they always are looking to see if they're going to be eaten.
Right.
Yeah.
Yet somehow they survive and flourish if we let them flourish. And that I don't know that I got the end of everything, but it sort of led up to something that I'm seeing. I guess I'd like to read the end again.
Interesting. I can send it to you. But it is interesting watching the pecking order. We have these yellow head and yellow breasted little finches, and also red head
Yeah.
breast, and then also English sparrows with the
Right.
black chest,
Mm-hmm.
black mask. and they're all really small. We haven't had bigger birds. We actually have bigger birds that come and kind of look, but they know they can't fit on these little perches. But we have a white cat that lurks
Ooh.
and watches them and then jumps. Really, he's so fast, but they get away every time. So it's kind of a little drama to watch. It's really interesting.
God.
And Carol brought up at one of our meetings having crows on the ground outside your apartment. And then our next door neighbor has crows that are out of control, but they come to us and they're not out of control. So it makes me think of diversity keeps things under control.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah. Louise,
All right. All right. I just was reading a statistic that in the United States alone, outdoor cats kill approximately 2.4 billion birds every year. Something to think about when you want to leave your cat outside. Sorry, Jeannie. Hope you don't mind me saying that, but I got to stick up for the birds.
I know he's not my cat.
Yeah.
He's a
Okay.
neighbor's cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I've got another Langston.
Sounds like
Hughes.
Chuck has a question.
Chuck?
Or wants to say something.
Chuck, are you trying to talk? You're unmuted.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I've got something I'd like to share. It's not quite a poem, but it's, I write stuff down sometimes. This is coal mining. Are you ready for it? Or were you going to do something else, Louise?
I don't care. Go ahead. No, I'm going to do something after you.
It'll be sketchy because I'll edit it as I go, okay? Mountains are forever. Can't you leave them alone? Love flowing, flowers growing, wild. People mining for timber and coal, trains chugging, smoke blowing, children like wild things living. Coal is not diamonds nor gold. Coal is bad for health. Sunshine is forever. A country doctor on his way, gangrene scarring the land, mountain tops and hollers and streams, valleys, ridges, blue bloods, flatlanders, pick and shovel, mole in the ground. Coal ain't diamonds, grow weed, clean up the rivers, keep the mountains, don't blow them up, plant trees. That's my coal.
Wow. Says a lot with a few words.
Yeah, thank you.
And I can see that it's you, Chuck.
That's me.
Yeah, I can. You come out through that.
Yes, he does.
Say it again.
Your words are you.
Oh, yeah, I'm very concerned about mountaintop removal and things like that back in Appalachia.
Did you write that, Chuck?
I wrote that, yeah,
Oh,
such as it is. I'm writing that. But thank you.
All right. I have one. This is by Langston Hughes. I've got the book here from the library. As I grew older. It was a long time ago. I have almost forgotten my dream, but it was there then, in front of me, bright like a sun, my dream. And then the wall rose slowly, slowly between me and my dream, rose slowly, slowly, dimming, hiding the light of my dream, rose until it touched the sky, the wall. Shadow, I am black. I lie down in the shadow. No longer the light of my dream before me, above me, only the thick wall, only the shadow. My hands, my dark hands, break through the wall. Find my dream. Help me to shatter this darkness, to smash this night, to break this shadow into 1,000 lights of sun, into 1,000 whirling dreams of sun.
yeah,
Yeah. You know, I want to go and look in my drawer to see if I have written anything that I could share of mine.
Okay,
I
you
hate
got
missing
my,
anything, you know.
you have my permission.
All right. I hate missing anything or anybody, but I'm going to do that now.
Okay, Carol.
I want you to meet Anne Bradstreet. Anybody heard of Anne Bradstreet?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I
I
didn't
have.
know her, and I was so happy to find her. She's got 4 or 5 poems in my Norton anthology, and she was born in the 1600s. She's a published female poet, and
Yeah.
I'm suspicious it's because her husband was one of the governors of a Massachusetts colony. Anyway, there's a bunch of poems. I'm going to read a short one because it's really loving. They had 8 children together. This is called To My Dear and Loving Husband. If ever two were one, then surely we. If ever man were loved by wife, then thee. If ever wife was happy in a man, compare with me, ye women, if you can. I prize thy love more than the whole mines of gold, or all the riches that the east doth hold. My love is such that rivers cannot quench, nor aught but love from thee give recompense. Thy love is such I can no way repay. The heavens reward thee manifold, I pray. Then while we live, in love let's so persever, that when we live no more, we may live ever.
Ah, no.
She's
Can you read
really,
those last 2 lines again?
sure. I'll read 4. Thy love is such I can no way repay. The heavens reward thee manifold, I pray. Then while we live in love, let's so persever. Then when we live no more, we may live ever.
Oh.
I would have said forever there, but that's what she said. And this is 1600s, and she's published, and she has 8 children, and she's written a lot of poems. There's big long ones in here. There's a one entitled A Letter to Her Husband Absent Upon Public Employment. And there's one here follows some verses upon the burning of our house, July 10th, 1666.
Who is
So
that?
this is Anne Bradstreet, who was married to one of the early governors of the Massachusetts colony in the 1600s.
Huh.
And
Wow.
she's important enough to have 4 or 5 or 6 poems in a Norton anthology. So I was
Wow.
happy to find her. Anyway,
Wow.
Cool.
Did she ever write anything about her kids?
oh, she's got one in here that I almost was going to read it. It's Before the Birth of One of Her Children. I mean, that's a pretty hot title. I'm sure she did. I just don't know all her poems. You could go online and maybe you would find, I'm sure you would find something.
Uh, well, I've got from a book. I have a friend who I've known since 1974. We gave a reading together, and he's got numerous books of poetry out, a number of them. This is from a book called I Dream, I Paint, I Touch, I Destroy.
Who's the poet, please?
And I'm going to tell you, Louise, I'm
Oh.
about to tell you.
I thought I missed it. I'm sorry. Jesus.
You owe me another cup of coffee.
When did I ever get you a cup of coffee?
Louise, Lee Bassett is his name, and he's living up in Washington State now in Seattle. I met him on Cape Cod. He was actually house sitting for Edward Gorey, if anyone knows who Edward Gorey is.
Sure. He's
Yeah.
an artist, right?
And I went over to Gorey's house and had dinner with Lee, but Gorey was every year he would follow the New York Ballet Company all around the country. So I met him once in a record store I was managing. Gorey came in and bought some opera, and I happened to have it, and this guy in a black cape and a hat and everything comes in and pays by check, so I knew who he was. But from this book, my friend Lee wrote a series of poems for Laura Nero, the singer of the 60s and 70s. And it's in several parts. I'm going to read part 2 and then part 3. This is part 2, and it's from a section called Laura Nero 1. And this is part 2. They stretch in their last night on earth toward a moon in its full bright chaos. What do you sing, Laura, before they leave is a dark, worrying music, a thought dream ballad full of mercy. What you sing, Laura, cures the tidal pull of madness, clean as rain for a little while. This is part 3. Inside the loud, long rain, I hear bird song, bird song. Then 3 dogs bark to sundown. I wonder, do you have time, Laura? This room is so nice and cold. Won't you come and join me? Please, I have 3 little movies to show you. I call them undertakings.
Don't know what to say about it.
You just got to feel his poems. Some of them are a little surreal, and so you got to, and dreamlike. He always writes in a dreamlike state about things.
I have an Edward Gorey calendar book that I should give to you. There are really some wonderful cartoons in it.
You know what? I feel like it's listening, how you feel listening to an opera. When I thought of it that way, and your introduction sort of, because an opera is more of a feeling than it's hard and can be hard to follow, but like in a way, I mean, surreal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A quick story. I posted something on Facebook about Edward Gorey, and a friend who lives over in Koreatown, he sent me a box that you can put together the stage, the 3 acts of Dracula. That Gorey did all the background and the costuming for Dracula when it was on Broadway. And it's in a box, and it's cutouts. You cut the characters out, and the stage setting, you set it up and put the people in, and you can do all 3 acts that way. I haven't pulled I haven't pulled it out of the box yet. I mean, I've looked at it, and it comes with a book and with the story of what each scene is about, and then it gives you directions on how to put it together.
Wow.
I wonder where you could get one of those. That sounds like something for
He
Christmas
bought
for
them
my daughters.
online.
Online? It would have been
I
called
can show you the box.
Edward Gorey.
How's it spelled? Because gore, it's funny, I bet it's not gory like
It's
Dracula.
called-
I mean, it kind
Or
of,
Corey, I think.
Edward Gorey's Dracula, a toy theater.
Oh my.
I'm gonna look that up. I bet probably at bookstores, I think.
Yeah.
sounds like fun.
Mhm. Thanks.
You have a very interesting life, Fred. All
Yeah.
your music and poetry and stories and your interests. That's wonderful.
Yeah, Gorey lived on Cape Cod in Barnstable. And at the time, I was living in just up the road in Hyannis and
Oh,
running a small record store in Hyannis.
right.
When you're writing your memoirs,
How do you spell Edward's last name again?
Gorey.
Thank you.
He's known for his really weird cartoons and alphabet books.
Uh-huh.
And of course his stage design and artistic work.
Yeah, cool.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay, I have a couple of haikus. These are by an emergency room nurse, Jason Hautala, who copes with many ghastly struggles through haiku. And he was written up in the Daily News. Um, he has learned that his friends are not eager about his line of work. They don't want to hear about what happens in the emergency room. He says they don't want to talk about scrotal maggots over a rice dinner. Anyway, so he has found an audience for his haiku. When his hospital solicited poems for an employee newsletter, he dashed off 10 haiku that captured unvarnished ER moments, and here are a couple of them. He's also written a couple hundred more, and they're all in haiku form.
Wow.
So here's the first one. Only one patient, brought by 2 ambulances. Bad day for someone. That's creepy, isn't it?
Yeah, that's creepy. Yeah.
Brought by 2 ambulances, only one patient. Oh, good Lord. Here's the second one. How did this happen? Cigarette burns to son's back. Lucky I am not armed. I bet. That's something.
Yeah.
Just a few
Powerful.
words.
Yeah. So powerful.
Oh my gosh. That's it for now. Oh, Fred's gone?
Yeah, that's all right. Chuck, do you have one? Okay. All right, I'll go on with my book of Langston Hughes. This is called Harlem Night Song. Come, let us roam the night together singing. I love you. Across the Harlem rooftops, moon is shining, night sky is blue. Stars are great drops of golden dew. In the cabaret, the jazz band's playing. I love you. Come, let us roam the night together singing. I love the feeling of that. You know, people just out, just having such a fabulous time. You can only write a poem about how great it is.
I'm going to look up my Gwendolyn Brooks from Chicago and bring some of her experiences with blackness next time.
Okay.
I have a poem I can read to you if you like. It's yes, everybody's clamoring to hear it, right?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. This is called Thank Goodness. Thank Goodness is a Sunday sort of poem that begins like this. I spent a good part of that day with 2 men, David Byrne and Sean Connery. I mean, like, wow. It was rewarding. I've known them both for years. Wrong, decades. Nothing new, you'd think. Wrong again. There's always something new with those guys. And you, and with me, one would hope. Real people they were, and real people change on a whim, on a dime, in a rainstorm, after lunch. Real people don't stay the same forever. Thank goodness. Ta-da!
Did you write that one?
Us?
Oh, great.
I like it. Yes.
I heard it good. I thought you were gone.
So we're
Yeah,
back
it
to
looks like Fran left us again.
The theme is so different from the last time. It's so much more personal
you think?
and so much more about romance. And I mean, what's happening to you guys?
This is a poem from Holly Prado, who's a Los Angeles poet. She died last year. She's very well known in LA amongst the poetry circles. She was married to Harry Northrop, another well-known poet and actor. Oh, I lost it about her cat. Okay, this is about it's called The Fifth Day Past the New Moon. I see through this room across 2 patios into another room where no one lives, but will. An unknown someone as blank as paint, I can't even say. Oh, white can't. Assume passion when the mood is to have a little less of myself. For the time I rest under moon shift to ask mercy, and she, it, moon closes my mouth. I do see through, but can't talk, and sense the language I want. It is always hidden, whatever phase, because the moon doesn't know it either. This isn't cruelty.
I lost track of that poem somewhere in the middle. Can we talk about it for a second? Or
Yeah. Um, she kind of wants to have the moon talk back, but it can't. She realizes and knows. And I think what she's also saying is when she says the moon closes my mouth, she realizes there's nothing to say but look at it. I do see through but can't talk and sense the language I want. It's always hidden, whatever phase, because the moon doesn't know it either. It isn't cruelty. So it's something you just accept.
there you go. Thank you. That makes more sense.
Okay, Jean, do you have anything else?
I do. I have something about birds at a feeder. It's called For the Birds by John Shoptaw. I just found it online. I don't know if he's known at all, but it was something I was interested in. For the abundant, along with the rare beads at my feeder of late, for all kinds of birds I've lived with here are turning rarer. For the chestnut-backed chickadee who carries her sunflower chip to the buckthorn to dine on between her toes. For the chickadees once came to my feeder in bunches. For the big, round, plain brown pair of California towhees who eat in parallel from the bird crumb table. For though they crumb it clean without a glance or a cheep, I believe this remote old couple is as entwined as any two polarized
Ah,
jays.
I
Black
didn't hear what the last word was. What was as any two what?
polarized.
The word before polarized, it cut out and you
Oh,
got
sorry.
frozen. Could
Okay,
you read that sentence again?
Sure. For though they crumb it clean without a glance or a cheep, I believe this remote old couple is as entwined as any two polarized photons. I didn't like the change in the tone there, but anyway. For the fearsome indigo stellar's jays, black hooded and crested, Tapper and Sly, as I call them. For Tapper taps twice on an overhanging plum branch at 2 clucks from my tongue, so I'll know him. For Sly hangs back and shrieks me over and over, and only shows himself after I place on the table their morning quinksunks of unsalted peanuts. I don't know that word. For he knows
ah.
Pepper will quack to announce them and then squawk indignantly when he slyly swoops in. For the vast majority, for the dark-eyed juncos, the wide-eyed titmice, the narrow-eyed red-breasted nuthatches, who feed right side up as they see it, the other birds upside down. For Audubon's yellow-rumped Wilsons and Townsend's warblers, nobody's birds, who feed, drink, and breed as they can, for the song sparrow's song, and the sparrow who exults in singing it, for a song. How long will that phrase mean what it means? For them all, I refill the feeder, even this morning, when all blown down things crackle underfoot, and the Diablo wind seems to growl diabolically and scrape from all corners at once against a sky the color of flint. For the lesser goldfinches, symbolically fierce, who part their beaks at any other kind, who would peck a chip in their presence. For the pine siskins, their symbolic match, who used to expose their underwings back at them with its dreadful yellow stripe. For 2 years running, no siskins at the feeder. For the brown-crowned, as yet unkindled sparrows, wintering from Oregon or the Farallon Islands, I sing my two-note welcome. Hello, hello. Pointless, for they won't learn it with my face masked against wild smoke migrating from the north. For the species, sorry about the airplane. For the species too little or big or otherwise unsuited for the feeder. For Anna's hummingbirds who love to suck on our pineapple sage. For the red-tailed hawk perched in the smoke-fogged redwood. For soon it'll be pestered by a twister of crows cawing, hawka, 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 hawka. For a red-tailed hawk I mistook it, something larger, muffled, ruffled, molten. For the golden eagle it turned out to be, hunched in the chill. For another flew up out of thick air and followed it south out of eyeshot. For those two, not migrants, evacuees clasping their emotional baggage. For the birds then, what have I to offer? For what kind of refuge is my catalog? For I can't reckon how to make good their losses. For I meant not to make a life list. I meant for others to partake in my pleasure, for it pleases me to look after birds.
Oh, I like that.
Wow.
There's a lot that I don't really understand in this poem, but I love the naming of all the birds. I just love that, and it sounds a little bit like you, Claudia, with the different kinds of birds in the yard.
Yeah, I like the naming, but it's like I can't see what it looks like, you know. I'd love to see a movie with it, you know, of all the birds or a picture of each bird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wondered about that too. There's loads of birds in my backyard and I've been fascinated with them. I'm wondering if there's a recording of bird songs that will help me identify them. 'Cause some of them are really pretty.
There are bird songs. Look up Audubon. I think I remember on their website seeing recorded bird songs, little MP4s or something like that that you can listen to.
And we have been getting bird songs in the middle of the night.
Oh, wow.
Which is new to me, like at 5 in the morning or 3 in the morning. And of course I can't see them. I don't know what, you know, but I didn't expect that.
Don't you think they're announcing a birth? Somebody laid an egg? I mean, you got to celebrate, right?
Well, I know, and I've been thinking of getting my phone out to record them actually.
Do it.
Chuck,
I don't want to end on,
oh, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, I don't want to end on sarcasm, but you've heard of Dorothy Parker, right?
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's
And
okay.
the round Algonquin round table, she was full of sarcasm. Here's one called Resume.
Oh, go ahead.
Stop me if you can't stand it. Razors pain you, rivers are damp, acids stain you, and drugs cause cramp. Guns aren't lawful, nooses give, gas smells awful, you might as well live.
Ah,
Just for
I'd love to
something
hear
different.
that again. Can we hear that again?
Yeah, you know what? Tell me where my speaker is on my, I don't think I'm talking into it. What?
Well,
no, you're fine.
yeah, we
Okay.
can hear you, but I want to see your whole face because I sort of read lips when I listen,
Oh, how interesting.
and you're going like this, you know.
Because I'm trying to figure out where you're going to hear me best.
It's
So I thought,
probably on top.
really? Well, okay, whatever. Anyway,
You
you want to hear
sound
that?
fine. You sound
Sure.
fine.
We hear
Right.
you fine. We hear you fine.
Okay. So there's two of hers here, and this one I just read. I'll read again. Resume. Razors pain you, rivers are damp, acids stain you, and drugs cause cramp. Guns aren't lawful, nooses give. Gas smells awful. You might as well live.
I love it.
Got another one of hers if you want to hear it. It's not quite so abrupt. It's called One Perfect Rose. A single flower he sent me since we met. All tenderly his message he chose. Deep-hearted, pure, with scented dew still wet. One perfect rose. I knew the language of the floweret. My fragile leaves, it said, his heart enclose. Love long has taken for his amulet one perfect rose. Why is it no one ever sent me yet one perfect limousine, do you suppose? Oh, no, it's always just my luck to get one perfect rose.
I like that, babe.
Yeah, she's cool. She's cool. You got to read about her.
Dorothy Parker? Oh,
She was one of the few women at the round table. The rest were all these fancy schmancy erudite writers that sat around the round table.
oh, she's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
There was a movie about that Algonquin crowd. I could see the actress's face
Yeah,
who
I can
played
too.
Dorothy Parker. It was really good movie.
I'd like to see it. I don't
20
know.
years ago. It's a while ago.
What was the name of the
Yeah.
movie? Do you remember?
I can't even remember the name of it.
I'm
I'll
just
have to
looking
look it up.
But was it about her or about the Algonquin?
Yeah, it was about her and the Algonquin.
And the
I don't know
swan,
if they
right?
showed it on PBS or I rented it as a video. I'll have to look it up.
Well, there's one called Mrs. Parker, and there's one called Dash and Lily, and there's one called Nora.
And The Vicious Circle.
Yeah.
That sounds more like it.
Maybe
Jennifer
that's
Lacey-
the one I
Jennifer
saw was the
Jason Leigh.
Vicious Circle.
What are the years? I'm curious.
Vicious Circle was in 1994.
Hmm.
Yeah,
With-
I think that's the one I remember the most.
It says it depicted the members of the Algonquin Round Table.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to try to find it too.
Jennifer Jason Leigh was starred as Dorothy Parker.
Yeah. You can watch it on Prime Video. Probably costs $3.99.
Somebody else can watch it on Prime Video.
The
Yeah, it probably
library
costs-
probably has it, the Santa Monica Library.
yeah.
Get there. Oh yeah, maybe they do. You're right.
Louise, do you want to read another one?
Yeah, I'll read a really short one by Langston Hughes. It's my Langston Hughes Day. This is called Poem for the Portrait of an African Boy After the Manner of Gauguin. All the tom-toms of the jungles beat in my blood, and all the wild hot moons of the jungles shine in my soul. I am afraid of this civilization, so hard, so strong, so cold.
Ah, that's good.
I like that.
It too.
And it sort of kind of captures the time right now, and it runs kind of counter to the romance ones. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
good counterpart. I mean, you guys are. I mean, it's you guys, but it's birds, romance, and
And black
Dorothy Parker.
culture a little.
Discrimination.
there's something about getting at the essence of. Oh God, it's way different than last time.
Different.
Hey, I'm trying to remember last time. What did we read? I can't remember.
Oh, it was great, but it was more traditional poetry in a way.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Well, what's your request for next time? No,
I don't know.
just kidding. Just
I
kidding.
mean, do you think it's because people are trying to emerge from the pandemic? That's what, and trying to like anticipate human connection.
That's probably informing us on some level. Who knows?
You know, like unconscious. So I'd rather, it'd be interesting to see what emerges the next time.
You'll be surprised.
Well, it's 2:57.
Right.
Say adieu
Time
or
to
something like that.
you, my poetry loving friends.
Yes.
I'm enjoying this. Thank you, Freddie.
I
Yeah,
love it. Thank you, Fred.
Thank you, Jean.
send money.
Or wine. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Love you all.
Thank you, Jean Gasco, for setting this up. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you, Louise,
yes.
for your help.
Bye,
in
everybody,
getting
and
this
thank
going.
you.
So remember,
Take care.
second Tuesday. I was going to tell everybody, second Tuesday is Poetry Day.
Okay.